What's up, everybody? Welcome to South Beach Strategy. people always, people only,
Why? We just started.
people mostly only see the highlight reels that they see on Instagram. They see the success. They see all the accolades that you gather over time, but rarely do they ever see what you go through as an entrepreneur when you're building a brand, when you're building a business, and when real life obstacles come your way. So today we have Caroline Schwitzky. How do I say your last name?
No, you said it, Schwitzky.
Schwitzky, there you
Yeah,
go.
there
Perfect.
you go.
I wanted to make sure I got it right, CEO of CS Talent, someone who's built her
Yes.
name in the entertainment space, but also faced very public adversity.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk about business.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the reality of your industry,
Yep.
and what it takes to keep going and when things get tested.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready.
So, building CS Talent, talk to us about that. When did you get into the talent industry?
Okay, so that's actually really like a funny story. So I was born in California. So I was born in California, and at a young age, I started going to castings, and my mom would take me to these big Disney meetings and stuff like that. I always had like the urge to want to be in front of the camera. I loved being in front of the camera. It was very easy for me to, smile and have this charisma, and producers love that, right? So at the age of 9, I landed this big contract, right, where they wanted to provide housing, a car. They wanted me to move near the studios in California. And my mom, right, she loved me so much. And when you love your child so much, she kind of panicked and said, no, I don't like the fact that they're calling the house. We're moving from California. She's not going to be in this industry. And we moved to Miami. So I never partake in that type of business again, right? I moved to Miami. I just went to school, right? At the age of 17, I got invited to audition for a Pitbull music video. I was 17 years old. I was a minor. And I was super nervous because in the back of my mind, I had my mom saying, you're never going to work in this business again. I'm taking you on. I want you to have no part in this. But I was very stubborn, and I went and I got booked, right? Of course, I lied about my age, but I got booked. The director was David from Creative Scene, and I was one of Pitbull's lead girl. And from that video, as you know, Jay, in Miami, there's always another production going on. There was another music video. So then now I got booked for Fat Joe. Then it went to Jay Holiday. Then it went to Shaggy. And I just kept getting booked. Maluma, And I was either the lead girl or I was just there, And I enjoyed it so much that I said, this is what I love to do. I love to meet people. I like to dance. I like to have this charisma. So I'm going to focus on, my acting. Got into acting school. Then I started getting booked for TV shows. So now I do Burn Notice, right? Which was like a regular show in Miami. Everybody watched it. From there, I got booked for Charlie's Angels. And it just kept growing. Like the demand was there as talent. What happened was working so hard in the business, right? I fell in love. I got married at the age of 20, right? Had my first baby. And I no longer could be the talent. I could no longer be that girl. So they would call me, hey, Carolina, we need a model for this. And unfortunately, I'd be like, I can't do it, but I know girls that can. And that's how the agency started. It was a gift from God that I had no idea was even waiting for me, because I never in my life said I wanted to be an agent or I wanted to manage women or talent in general. I was always a star. So when I provided, I think one of the models was like Metisha for a music video, got her booked, right? Then they called me again. Hey, we need 10 girls. We need 6 girls. We need influencers. And then I started booking all the top models in Miami. Every girl you could think of, I booked, right? And from there, the agency the demand grew. So it went from music videos to now I need promo models. Now I need an infomercial. Now do you have celebrities? That's how I was able to get my first booking, The Baby. I booked him for a 100K job, right? So now I'm like, okay, I'm getting involved with celebrities. I'm going to take my role as an agent serious. Forget being talent. I'm making more money anyways, and I'm not even on set. I'm just supplying the people. And that's how the agency started. I never grew up in a home of entrepreneurship. My parents were both like 9-to-5ers. Like I grew up going on one vacation a year. Like my parents couldn't afford it. So I never knew that entrepreneurship would like be at my door. But when it started knocking, I opened it because I always believed in having my own freedom, you know? My first job, I was 15 years old. I worked at Publix. So from 15 to 19, I worked everywhere, Jay. I'm talking about Wendy's, McDonald's, Denny's, Foot Locker, Athlete's Foot. I worked everywhere. I couldn't keep a job. And I would ask myself, like, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm a disciplined person. I'm a good person. I have great, like, conversation skills, communication. Why can't I keep a job? Then one day, I'll never forget, I was at the food court at Pembroke Lakes Mall, and some client that usually shops, you can tell he has money, he sits down, he sees I'm sad, he's like, what's going on? And I told him I just got fired from Athlete's Foot. My manager just fired me for no reason. Like, because people would confuse me for the manager. Oh, are you the manager? Because I always had like that energy, but I wasn't. And the guy said, maybe you're not meant to be a 9-to-5er. Maybe you're meant to be an entrepreneur. And I said, yeah, but I don't even know like what that is. And the guy, I'll never forget, the guy said, listen, life is all about connecting dots. You might not understand where you're going, but don't be afraid of the hiccups, the bumps in the road, because this is what's going to make you become who you need to be. After that conversation with him, I started like, at that time, I think it was like Google. I was always a Google girl. So I started Googling like LLC, how to open one in Florida. I realized it was super cheap. It was like $100 and something. You didn't really need much, you know. And from there, I started my first company. And then it kind of just started growing. I literally became an entrepreneur, worked for myself, worked on my own timing, my own schedule. And I loved it. I love the freedom it brings when you work for yourself, you know. Now, mind you, just because you're an entrepreneur does not mean that it's easier for you. You and I both know owning your own business, your own company requires more work, more hours, right? Less sleep, waking up early, going to bed late, entertaining, right? That's a big part of our industry. Meeting people, entertaining them, making them feel comfortable, making them feel like, oh, wow, this environment is pleasant. I like this. I want to do this again. So I didn't know how much hard work it would go into being an entrepreneur, but it was the best decision I've made in my life. And my best year, I'm very proud of what I've done, was 2016. The agency brought in $426K. Okay? Now, mind you, that wasn't all profit, but a big part of that was my profit. And we're talking about a girl that didn't graduate college, that all my teachers told me I was going to be nobody. You know how it goes, the rebel. Oh, she's a rebel. She doesn't listen. She doesn't, you know, stay in order. She's trouble. And, you know, I was always afraid that I would not do anything with my life, but I'm really glad that I showed my family, like, yeah, I didn't graduate college, right? And I might not be a millionaire, but I live life on my terms. I go where I want, when I want, how I want. You know, I'm able to live, like, enjoy my children. Most people can't, right? Most people, mothers, they go to, you know, they drop off the baby at the daycare, they go to work 9 to 5, back home at 7, you know? So it's been a blessing starting the agency, but I got to be honest, representing some of these girls made it really hard. You kind of start, like, asking yourself, like, do I really want to do this? You know, in the beginning, it was fun. I was young. I was charismatic. I enjoyed it. Now at 27, 28, 30s, when you have a model talking to you crazy, you're like, I'm not doing this. You ain't even, like, please. Like, it was a lot of drama. And I now am trying to pivot. So now what I'm trying to do is focus back on what my dream was, which was to be the star. So that's where I'm at right now in my life.
But you're still balancing the agency as well.
Yes. And the only reason why I don't let go of the agency is because I want to leave something for my children. You know, I do want to leave something for them. This agency every year does 6 figures. It's proven. It's very easy. You have the database. I have over 12,000 members in America, in United States. So it's very easy to supply talent to Los Angeles, to New York. Oh, they need extras. They need hot girls. They need rockers. They need bike riders, you know. So I don't want to let it go. I have people now in position where I'm training them to be me, but that's a whole different ball game, because sometimes the client wants you. They want you.
Yes.
So I've had to. It's been a very hard transition, but I am not letting go of the agency. The agency is something I want to leave for my daughter. My daughter's 11 years old. And she wants to be a star. She's a mini me, and she says it. I'm gonna be a star. The Lord put it in my heart. I am a star, Mom. And she wants to sing. She plays the guitar. She does everything. She's like these young girls. They're big believers. They believe in themselves so heavy, and they have this confidence because of TikTok or whatever. So I do want to leave it for the kids. I think it's only fair. But I also want to get into more business. Like, for instance, right now, I'm starting a skincare collection. So I realize as I age, right, because I'm 36 now, right, that the skin changes. The elasticity, right? Everything starts to change. So I'm dabbling with these products. It's called Solena. And basically, it's like a natural, like, ingredients, products, 3 products you use every day, and at least you get to maintain that youthfulness,
Yes.
Yeah,
you could tell.
I'm trying.
You still look the same as from when
trying,
I met you.
Right? You
I
think
met
so?
you in your 20s, yeah.
Yeah, we met years ago.
Yeah.
But the same with you. I don't understand how he's 47. That's crazy to me. You look great.
Thank
It's
you.
unheard of. Especially because, in the Miami, the night scene, the entertaining, all these things you got to take part in. It blows my mind how you even look better than you did when we first met.
Yeah.
So,
The last few years, I've just tried to sleep. I get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
I go to sleep early. I wake up early.
Yeah.
I'm not out partying. Although I don't know why people think I'm like out all the time, but
Yeah.
I'm really not.
Yeah.
For weekends, I'm always home. I've been doing this routine for a while.
Now.
So it just, I do go out every once in a while, but it's very,
Seldom. It's
Yeah.
intentional. At this point now, you're very intentional with your time.
Yeah.
You have experience. You're a grown man. So you're not just going to go mess around when you know the effects of it. Now you're like, okay, I'm going to go there. It's a different lifestyle once you become a little bit more wiser, and you're not now thinking about the money. Because that's the thing in Miami. Everybody wants to chase the money, and they're hustlers. And for a long time, people would say, Carolina, you're a hustler. You're a hustler. And I would really, I didn't like being associated as a hustler, because what's a hustler? Someone that's going and get it. I gotta get it, right? I wanted to be more of like the CEO I am, where I don't have to go hustle. It's more of being intentional and choosing projects that you want to put your time and your efforts in. And, so a lot has changed with my hustling ways, because I was always that girl. They would call me, oh, hey, we need a yacht. Remember, we need this, we need that, we need this. I need a car. It was always like last minute, and I was always there. I was the girl.
Yeah.
Kids and all.
Yeah.
Oh, what time? 2 a.m? Okay, no problem. And I would always make it happen. I was like the middle person trying to,
Yeah, you were
just to
connecting
get
the dots.
Yeah, to get a couple of bucks.
Yeah,
but now I realize as I get older, okay, a couple of bucks is nice, but it doesn't even pay a dinner for us anymore.
Yeah.
So
the thing is that once you're good at what you do,
Yeah.
and you've been doing it for a long time, and you have a reputation, you may not be hustling, but the business requires you to hustle, because you can't just turn people away. So
Yeah.
you may not be trying to hustle,
Yeah.
but the business makes you hustle.
Yeah, it requires. It's a requirement of you to show up and to get stuff done.
Yes.
But now I'm more selective. I got to be honest. There's projects I just won't waste my time in.
Yeah.
If it's not worth it
have to be, yeah.
financially, or if it's not something that my talent will really, truly benefit from, there's 12,000 agencies in Florida. They can call someone else,
Correct,
you
yeah.
know? So, with maturity, you change, you grow, you evolved. But I've had some crazy requests as an agent. I've had, I guess, girls misinterpret what an agent is. We're not your managers. We're not there to bail you out of trouble, right? My contract is a non-exclusive contract, which means you can sign to 10 more people. We are happy for you. We are only concerned about what we bring to the table for you. I don't care about what you do elsewhere, right? I remember once I get a phone call from a very well-known influencer, Colombian beautiful model. And at that time, she was dating on the low Prince Royce. So she calls me and she says, hey, I know you're my agent, but I kind of want to know, like, if you could help me with something. So I was like, what's up? What do you need? And she's like, I need you to hire paparazzi for me. So I was like, okay. I'm like, I don't get it. You need to tell me what's going on. So she ends up telling me, I've been dating this guy for a few months, and he doesn't want to take me out, like, anywhere, like, public. And I'm tired of, just not being, shown. I want to be seen. So he's taking me to Prime 112. Can you please arrange paparazzi at 7 p.m.? So I was kind of taken back. I had never had a request like that. So I was like, okay, no problem. Sure. I call one of my boys who actually passed away, Adolph Lachance, and I was like, hey, I need you and 2 guys to post up at this address at this time because they're going to roll in. And all she wanted was photos of them walking in the restaurant. That's all she wanted, right?
But real paparazzi, or it was going to be staged?
It was staged. No, it was staged. It was not real paparazzi. I mean, a photographer can act like one.
Yeah.
So let me tell you. So the paparazzi there.
But it wasn't going to get posted on TMZ or nothing like that.
Well, that was the whole point. She wanted that type of limelight. She wanted to be recognized for someone like famous because it wasn't her first time being with someone famous. But a lot of the celebrities, they don't want to expose you. They don't want to put you out there because they don't want you to have that limelight. That's theirs, Not all, but majority, they want to keep everything private, right?
Yeah.
So the paparazzi's there, 30 minutes, an hour and a half. No Prince Royce with the Colombian model. So I call her and I'm just like, what's going on? And she texts me and she's like, I think he found out what my plan was.
No.
Yeah. She's like, he doesn't want to leave the house. And I keep arguing with him to take me out. And he was being resistant. He was telling her, like, why do you want to go so bad? What, like, I don't get it. Why are you forcing me? You never asked me to, like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Why are you, And he's, like, trying to tell her, like, I'm just trying to chill tonight. Yeah. So her whole plan went out the window.
So thirsty.
Yeah. I guess she showed that, like.
She was too thirsty.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But so they didn't last after too long. That ended quickly. But I'll never forget that the next day she calls me and she's like crying on the phone that he like dogged her out, cursed her out, made her feel really bad about wanting to go to dinner.
Yeah.
And she's like, if you only knew, I was trying to, So I told her, I was like, listen.
She got what she deserved.
I honestly, I didn't like the eagerness of trying to, capitalize off someone else. Like, it'd be different if they had a conversation. Like, I would be straight up. Yeah. If I'm dating Prince Royce and you're not taking me to dinners out and you're just coming to see me at my place, that's a problem. I don't want that. I want to be in a loving, healthy relationship that's exposed and we're out there and it's not doing it for cameras, but it's, But
this was before the woman empowerment, because I know now you talk a lot about women empowerment, right?
Yes.
What would you tell someone like that today?
That they don't need to do any of that. Like, at the end of the day, someone else's success, someone else's status does not define you or make you who you are. But I do believe that now we live in a day and age that women, they need to be more intentional from the beginning of what it is they want. That's what happens when miscommunication takes place. You're dating someone, you're playing hard to get, you don't want to show you're desperate, it's someone famous, you really like him, but there's no communication. There's no, hey, what is it that you're looking for? Is this a serious thing? Is this a weekend thing? Like, they kind of go with the flow. And that's what happens when two parties, they just go with the flow, right? There's no end destination. There's no end goal. So you guys are having a good time, but a good time eventually ends to a lonely time because you had no expectations. You had no intentions of going anywhere. You probably thought the relationship would grow, but you didn't communicate that. And guess what? He's holding you up to your zero standards. You didn't say anything. You didn't tell him, hey, I want to be, in a relationship only with you. I'm looking for exclusivity. I'm looking for marriage. I want children. They don't want to have these hard conversations. But then a couple months in, the guy, ghosts on you because now he went to something harder, something that is challenging him, right? Because you're no longer the challenge. And then they feel disappointed, let down, and they want to make it Oh, he's the bad guy. I got my heart broken. He's the bad guy. And I feel bad for the men too, because they're always portrayed in such a bad light. But us women, we tolerate the abuse. We only don't tolerate it when it's not beneficial to us anymore. When it becomes a problem, that's when we start saying, well, you're this and you're that. But I have a girlfriend right now going through the situation. She dated a man for 2 years, someone well known here in Miami. In the 2 years, she never once asked anything. She never asked, what are we? She never asked, do you want a family? Do you want children, right? She's paying all the bills.
Her bills.
Yeah, their bills.
Their bills.
Their bills.
Uh-huh.
And guess what? She recently ran out of money. What do you think the guy did? Bounced.
Bounced.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. But why? She never had the conversation with him. They weren't even a title.
But if she didn't have the conversations, then she probably just didn't care.
It's not, no.
Like, she didn't care about those things. If you don't talk about it, you don't care about it.
Yeah.
You're good with the situation as is.
Yeah.
Like,
Is
I know
it that?
I'm renting this dude right here.
Yeah, but it could also be too, right? That a lot of women, we are so disappointed and let down with previous partners that we kind of settle for the bare minimum, you know? And that's the thing. Our past should not define us, right?
She sounds like a good woman.
She's such a good woman. I would love to say her name because she's single. She's beautiful.
She pays for everybody's shit.
She's voluptuous. She's a hustler. She's
Yeah.
a worker. But at the end of the day, none of that matters if you
But
don't
did she care
love
that he
yourself.
left? Did she care that the guy left? Did she give a fuck or she
Oh,
didn't give a fuck? Or she
she's
just
all
moved on?
bent out of shape
She's
because
bent out of shape.
she realized that she, in a way, she got used. Because if indeed it was true emotions from a man that really loved her, he would not end it the way he did, you know? He would not just discard her like that if it was a loving, kind relationship, even as friendship, right? As a man, it didn't work out between us, but I'm not just gonna drop you and ignore you, right? Now that you have nothing to give me and I'm, you know? So she's going through.
But whenever you go into a situation where you're paying the other person's stuff,
Yeah.
man, woman, doesn't matter. You can just count on it.
Yeah.
1,000% that the minute that ends, the relationship ends right there.
100%.
That's just
yeah.
a fact. You
Because
know what I mean?
it's
you
like
can't be surprised
convenience.
by that.
Yeah, it's
transactional.
It's a transactional relationship, which Miami has groomed to think this is normal.
Yes.
Do you know now, girls, when they go on dates with guys, the girls have the nerve to ask for gas money, or they have the, you know, well, I have to pay my babysitter and whatever. At the end of the day, every woman wants a generous man. There's no problem with that, right? But from the beginning, you haven't even gone on a date. You don't even know if you like this guy, if you guys have the same motives, agenda, goals in life, but you're already asking for something. So then in return, the guy, he wants something in return too. Oh, I'll take care of you. But what is the exchange there? And Miami has
but
normalized that type of relationship.
If a girl needs $20 for gas to go on a first date, I'll hook her up. I'll send her a little cash out there, $20.
Because, Jay, you're nice. But the question is, right? Are you in a position to even go on a date if you're asking for gas money?
$20.
But you have to really think about it, right? Yeah. Like, if you don't have your stuff together and you're living check to check and stuff like that, like, a man is not the savior. And so us women, we want to believe like, oh, he's gonna save me, he's gonna help me, and stuff like that. And that's where like we've changed so much. Like the woman nowadays, they're very cold. They're very like transactional. This is what I want. This is what, you know, I need you to do for me. And the guys are eating it up. They're like, yeah, sure, I'll pay. Yeah, sure. But then, like I said, it's not how it used to be. I think now it's worse. Like
if they go on the date because the guy's willing to pay, so I think where the jam comes in is when they start to give themselves up physically right away, and then the guy moves on because they gave up what their best asset is, or their last asset that they have left. You know, they got nothing going on.
Yeah.
All they got is their box. You know, and then they just give it up. For some gas money, they can't expect that relationship to go for too long. Where I think there's more problem is, and I see this at least from the outside looking in, I see women overestimating their value more than anything else. Because if I saw a woman and she had some good potential and she needed $20 for gas, and I think that there could be something there because she brings a lot of things to the table. Maybe she's not the most entrepreneurial woman in the world, but there's other things more important
Of
than
course,
that, you know?
yeah.
So there's the circle of life, and
Yeah.
there's money, and there's family, and there's things like that that are all very important. But when a woman overestimates her value, and
Yeah.
she starts to think that she's worth
Yeah.
more than what she really is,
Yeah.
and she misses out
Yeah.
on good opportunities,
Yep.
because not every millionaire, billionaire was a billionaire his whole life.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And if there was an opportunity to get with someone who may have been, who was on his way up,
Yeah.
and you missed out
Yeah.
because you overestimated
Yeah.
your value, I feel like that is a problem that women are having right now, where they just they think I don't know where they're getting these evaluations on what they're worth.
Yeah.
But they're overvaluing themselves. They're missing out on the guys that are available
Good
to them.
men,
Right.
amazing
that they
men
can
that
build
want-
with.
yeah.
Right. And they miss out on that Then they end up in their 40s single and looking back saying, what's left?
Yeah.
Who's available now?
Yeah.
You know, and then the options are way slimmer when you
Yeah.
get down the road. So what are you telling girls who are young, who have good opportunities when it comes to that right now?
So this is the thing. Like I said, right? Social media has normalized how girls view themselves. Like now they're like a prop, right? And with OnlyFans, like that hasn't made it any better for us, because literally the asset they have is their sexuality, their bodies, right? And that's a problem if that's your main asset, right? That's a gift. That's a beautiful experience, right? Sex is good, especially when it's with the right person, someone that you truly have feelings for, right? But what has happened is that everything has been transactional now, and these women are demanding, pay this, pay that, do this, do that. And they've put themselves, like you said, where they've overreached, they've overextended themselves, and they're not thinking of the bigger picture. They're not thinking of, if I open an OnlyFans account right now, would that, steer me away from wanting or from finding a good man, a loving marriage, Most girls want to get married. They want to have children, but we've sold them this lifestyle, that fast cars and shopping sprees, and that's what really matters. And none of that matters. We all know, like, when we die, you take nothing with you, But I try to tell the woman, because for a long time when I was a single mom, I feel like I had these, like a checklist. If you're not tall, if you're not successful, if you're not this, if you're not a father, I want nothing to do with you, right? I believe that this was what I was looking for. What I learned, and I'm so grateful for this, right, is that everything I thought I wanted really was not what I wanted. It was just like the environment that I was in, the pressure of luxury and wanting to be with someone that does, good things for you and stuff like that. I realized and I learned through the process of meeting my husband and getting married, right, was that I never needed a rich man. I just needed a man that wanted to grow with me. And that's what I'm trying to tell all my ladies now. I'm trying to explain to them, because if you go to every woman now and ask them, what do you look for in a man? It's always the same thing. He's got to have a good job. He's got to be tall. He's got to be handsome, right? All these like things that don't matter. Yes, you want to be attracted to your partner. It's okay to have a healthy lifestyle, to have a six-pack, to invest in yourself, to self-love, self-care, right? But it's not the only thing that matters. A lot of beautiful people with great bodies and great, they're in the inside, they're the crappiest people sometimes, right? It's a facade. It's not real. So I tell all my girls now, like, if I were you, if you're single and you have not met a good man, honestly, what I did, and it worked for me, was I threw that list away. I threw all my expectations away. I said, God, I want what you have for me. I don't know what that looks like, but I want to experience a love that I've never had before. And anyone that knows me can tell you, when I met my husband, when he walked in the restaurant that day, I had zero idea that was the man. One, he wasn't my type. Two, I wasn't really I was so checked out with all my past relationships that I wasn't even looking for it, right? And the relationship grew through friendship. We were friends. We were just friends. Then we started talking about business. He's like software engineer. He makes websites, app. He was like, yeah, I could build you your own app. So the agency runs it for you. I'll have a robot run the agency for you. And I'm like looking at him like, yeah, okay, sure. And through the friendship, I realized, oh my God, he loves his mom. He's good to his mother, right? Must be good to me if he's good to his mom. He's a good friend. Oh my God, I haven't given him anything, not even a kiss. And he's there just showing up as a friend. I was like, wow, that's odd. That's not, what do you want? And then through the friendship is where the love grew, because I was able to see him at his authentic self, who he was, how he showed up. And that was important to me. And that's when I realized, I was like, I was doing it all wrong, So I talk to my girls all the time. There's so many beautiful girls in Miami single. And I hear the same thing. I can't find a good man. I can't find a good man. Well, what are you what is it that you're looking for? Why don't you drop what you think you know, what you think you want, and allow timing to do its thing, Because it really is true when they say you don't have to look for love. It will find you, right? But you got to keep going with life. Don't just stay put and hold into the idea of, oh my God, if I only had a man, I wish I had a man. No, F all that. Don't worry about none of that. Focus on you, who you are, what you bring to the table, your career. What do you want to be known for? I remember this lady asked me, she says, one day we all die. And the one question God's going to ask you when you visit him is, with all the resources I gave you, what'd you do? What'd you do? Did you just take care of yourself? Did you take care of your family? Did you take care of the neighbor downstairs? What about the homeless kids in Opalaka? What did you do with everything I gave you? So ever since I heard that, my whole model of life has changed, because now to me, I'm on a mission. Oh, wait, hold up. Wait a minute. I'm not just a pretty face. I want to leave my legacy. I want to help as many kids as I can. Anyone that encounters me will not forget that encounter. Right? Even if it's Jay, even the valet guys. I valeted my car this morning, and I'm talking to them, and I speak a little Portuguese, and I make them laugh, and I tell them, have a beautiful day. And they're just like, wow, it's that energy that can really shift someone's day into something even better. Or it's like a little bit of hope. Like, oh my God, life is not so bad, So I always try to be like that. I know I'm all over the place with my questions, but I think it's important that we try to feel good, not just look good, but really feel good, and try to help the other people feel good too. Because I see a lot of people just so down, and they're lonely, and I'm alone, and I'm this, and I'm that, and there's so many hard stories, and it's true. Sometimes they're going through it, right? But you gotta believe that everything will be okay. That no matter where you are now, it's not who you'll become 5 years from now. We've evolved so much, right? You and I, we met in my 20s. We're the same, but yet we're completely different, right? Life, experience, moments that shaped us, that made us become who we are right now, right? But would you change anything from your past if you could?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? Same thing for me. As much as I didn't call for the first divorce, and it was something that really hurt me, and it was a lot, But if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have become the single mother that I became. I wouldn't have been able to now become the loving, peaceful wife that I now am. Because who I am now is not who I was when I was 20 years old, So I think that sometimes when we go through devastating moments and hard moments and hardships, you have to look at the cup half full, not half empty. Scientists have proven that an affirmative thought is much more powerful than a negative one. So you could cry all day about your situation, but if you have faith and you believe that your situation will change, oh my God, you're unstoppable.
You've been through some stuff very publicly that affect you personally. How would you say that affected who you are and your business and everything like that?
What's crazy, right, is when you Google my name, you see a lot of my accomplishments and the videos I've done and jobs, right? But then at the same time, you also see, right, a mugshot, right? And it's crazy because the internet is a different beast. They could either make you project you to be this beautiful thing, or they could make you out to a monster, right? One thing that has always saddened me about the entertainment industry, if you're in it, if you're, if you've taken part in it, is that any little thing they run with. They like to do stories on you, and they like to, not mock you, but talk about your personal life to the world. And I recently went through like that situation with Boca Bash, and I dated this guy for a year. I broke up with him at Boca Bash. Long story short, he tries to strangle me, like under the water, head completely submerged, right? He was angry, he was mad, right? When that happened, I'm home and I'm like now thinking of my life. Like, okay, that was a bad decision. That was a bad relationship. I should have never entertained it, but here I am. This is the consequences. Now, what really hurt the most was the next day, my phone is blowing up. And I'm like, what's going on? And there it is, page 6, Daily Mail, People Magazine. Everybody taking such a personal moment and exposing it to the world, exposing the fact that I almost died, exposing the fact that it was her boyfriend that tried to strangle her under the water, right? And I don't know if anyone has even done research, but from 4 years ago when this incident happened and this went viral and every reporter, journalist was calling, emailing, calling my manager, trying to get a statement, I kept my mouth shut because I was humiliated. I'm a mother of 3. What do you mean your boyfriend tried to drown you? Like, what are you doing? I was embarrassed as a woman, I was embarrassed that now people would say, oh my God, that's another failed relationship for her, right? You can't get it together. Another relationship didn't work out for you. It was a lot of embarrassment going on. But that didn't derail me from seeking justice. So for the 4 years, I went to court. For 4 years, I wanted justice to be served. 6 witnesses, 6 strangers that don't know me. They don't know me. We didn't party together. We didn't have a drink together. 6 people are all saying, hey, I saw this girl under the water. The guy was drowning her with his hands on her neck. We all saw it. This guy, Matt Paris, which I talk about him a lot in my interviews, he's my hero. This guy dragged me out the water. If it wasn't for him, everyone knows nothing would have happened. I would have just drowned in, and that's it. So for 4 years, I tried to seek justice in a situation that honestly, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was hard. It was hard for me because I was in a relationship with this guy. I don't want the guy to go to jail. Yeah, you made a big mistake, right? But I'm not trying to ruin your life. You do need to be held accountable. I want justice to be served. What does that look like? People kept asking me, what does that look like to you? And me, it's the truth. I was saying, I don't want the guy to go to jail. He made a mistake. He was completely drunk. And when I told him it was over, he couldn't get it together, right? He lashed out. But I didn't want... people think I'm crazy for saying this, but I just wanted him maybe to do a rehab program, maybe for a whole year, have accountability, have a parole officer, right? Because if you did this to me, you will do it again. It's, abusers, they never change. They just disguise themselves to be less abusive. They don't want the next person thinking that, it's going to happen to them too.
You can't really control what other people do.
Yeah.
And that has to affect a little bit how you trust people, and being who you are, being a mother and being a businesswoman. How have you handled trusting people moving forward after an experience like that?
Well, after that experience, I kept single. I kept to myself. I had to change something. I realized that I was not happy. I'm a single mother of 3 kids. I have nothing to leave my children. I was in a state of rebirth, literally. God, what do you want from me? What can I do? Because I'm not content with this life that I'm living. It's not helping me. It's not helping my children. And obviously, experiencing something like that, your trust level kind of goes down. You don't tend to trust as much, But I took that experience as a moment for me to truly get to know who I was and what I was doing on this earth. And You know, what am I looking for? Am I looking for a good time? Am I looking for a guy that just shows up every weekend when my children are not around? It allowed me to like isolate myself, but in a good way. I needed to be alone. I needed to be away from the noise, because you and I both know the phones are off. All the friends are calling. Guys are calling. Girls are calling. Let's go to Kiki. Let's go here. Let's go to dinner. There's always noise, right? You have to really isolate yourself to ask the deep questions and to find those answers. It's not going to happen when you're out and about at, like, you know, any of these restaurants and stuff. So I took some time to really just heal myself. Really heal myself after experiencing something like that. And it was the best decision I ever made, because that's when I was able to look myself in the mirror and change what I did not like. You really have to sit, you know, sit down and say, okay, I don't like this part about me. And that's when, like, you start changing, you start evolving, you start becoming a different person when you acknowledge what you don't like, you know? And it's been a journey for me. It's been a journey, but through all that devastation and bad times, I met my husband. I had 2 more children. So it was a rebirthing moment for me. That's what I tell everybody. I feel like I'm a brand new woman. I feel like everything changed for me. And like that Miami lifestyle that I took part in so many, you know, so long, really was just like nipped. Like, okay, this is not my lifestyle anymore.
Because adversity is not what defines you. It's how you respond to that.
Amen.
That determines who you are and who you become.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that helped you evolve into the woman that you are today, because I've seen that you have definitely got yourself together, you know, and you're in a great place and you're super focused. And, you know, sometimes with all these obstacles in life that we go through, we don't become who we're supposed to be.
No, I honestly think that, like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I tell people all the time, it's a beautiful thing to know that we're constantly evolving and changing. A lot of people fear change, and that's me too. For a long time, I didn't like change. I like everything to be routine, everything the same, right? Comfortability, right? But it's when you're bothered, when the growth could actually like hit and start evolving you. You know, you have to be in an uncomfortable position to really want that change, desire that change that is open to you. It's open to any of us. A lot of people like to play the victim route. Oh, my situation will never change. All I do is work. All I do is this. I don't have enough for this. I'll never be able to buy a house. No man's gonna love me. They start making all these excuses, right? And at the end of the day, winners don't make excuses. We figure out what the problem is, and we find the solution for it, and we keep it moving with grace, you know? We don't allow it to define us. And it's very simple, like, a lot of people would tell me, like, oh, but you have a past. Yes, we all have a past. But the past is what is used to help us become our best self, our future self, right? What does that look like to you? You know, so it's about doing the inner work. It's about asking those uncomfortable questions to find yourself in a comfortable situation. You know, because I honestly, Jay, I never thought I would be this type of woman, this wife, you know? I never used to cook for a man. I was always against it. Like, oh no, you know, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not, you know, entitled. I'm not doing this. Tú estás loca, this and that, blah, 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 right? And what happened? What happened? God sent me a man that made me like...
And now you're making empanadas.
I make empanadas. I never made empanadas. Jay, I never cooked. I was never a chef like that. And now I do ceviche, I do tacos, I do meal preps, I do all these things that I never in my life envisioned I would. And I thank God for being okay with change, right? Because I had to change in order to bring a whole different type of love and light that I didn't experience. Like, you know, when girls talk about like the soft life, this is the soft life. Oh my God, I'm able to raise my beautiful 5 kids. You know, I keep the house organized. I'm able, like my husband tells me, I don't want you to work. I want you to make your dreams come true. Figure out what that looks like to you. If you need me, I'll help you. But you figure it out. What do you want to be? What are you doing? and imagine, like, it's such a beautiful position to be in. I'm even homeschooling my kids. Everything has changed, because I have a man that supports me, loves me, is not a millionaire. He's not rich, but he'll give me his last dollar. So it speaks volume of who he is, And he was raised by a single mother of 5 kids, And what's crazy is that he always said he would never date a married woman, a woman with kids. He always said that, right? We think we know what we want, but then what happened? You met me and everything changed, right? So I think that for all the single people, especially those watching this, I think it's so important to just let go of what you think you want, okay? And allow God to give you what's best for you, like what really is gonna set your soul on fire, not temporary satisfaction, not something that just lasts a moment. You want, like I say, you don't want just anyone. You want the one. And they're out there. They're alive. They're breathing, A lot of guys will say, I can't find a good woman. Well, if you continue to repeat, I can't find a good woman, the universe has it just agrees to what you're saying. Like, okay, I guess I'm just going to keep sending you, women that are not as good because you are declaring you're putting so much weight on something that is false. It's not true. There are great women out there, but you have to be able to see it, right? You have to change your perspective in it. These are all things that I've learned, and it's helped me become a better person, a better mother, a better friend.
When you're young, you see money and you think things last forever.
Yeah.
So we make the mistake of thinking, oh, this person's got money. Oh, I'm in a good position. But that person may not have money tomorrow.
Yeah.
It comes and goes so easily.
Yeah.
So if you base your relationships on finances alone,
gifts,
just finances in general, because that person, you don't know how their business may go out of business.
Oh,
things can change. There's a lot of things that happen in life that throw obstacles, and people could be up one minute and down the next. So you end up with someone because you think that their finances are good. Something happens, now the finances are good. Now you have to deal with the person who they are, and you're like, I hate this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you're stuck, and then that's why you get divorced, and then you get break up because you didn't go for the foundation and say, money's important. Yes, you got to pay your bills.
100%.
But can I stand this person for a long period of time?
Yeah.
Like, I've grown to the point where when I meet somebody, like, that's what I'm thinking the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Is this person somebody that I can stand for more than a few hours at a time? You know what I mean? Because that's what's really important. All the other things, we can build it and we can develop it together. How did 90 Day Fiancé impact your career?
So 90 Day Fiancé was actually the first reality TV show that I starred in as myself, okay? And that's the thing. I'm going to tell you what happened with 90 Day Fiancé because I really don't like the game they played, right? Obviously, I did sign like an NDA and stuff, so I won't get into too many details, but I'm going to tell you what they did. So I get a call from one of the producers. Hey, we know you're a model. We know you're an agent. We want to film. We want to expose your agency. So we want to film in your office. We want you to help this girl. We have this girl that can't get jobs. Her photos are not the best. So we want to bring her in there, and you're basically going to evaluate her like you evaluate all your models, and then tell her to move to Miami, right? So it was very scripted. And the crazy part about reality TV is not really reality. It is 95% scripts. They already know what they're going to do, what reaction they want from you. So I agreed to it. Millions of people watching me on a mainstream, American show. Sure, let's do it. I filmed the episode with Paola Mayfield, which is the girl that I represented in the season, 90 Day Fiancé, the Colombian, right? And from the beginning, I could tell that they were playing both of us. They were playing me. They would come in and they would say, okay, are you ready? You're going to do so great. I'm so excited. And then like a Pitbull, they would unleash Paola, and she would come into the agency, you don't get me jobs, screaming at me, a whole show. So I'm trying to keep my composure because I'm like what? They're trying to make me look like the bad villain. And that's why a lot of people that watch 90 Day Fiancé, it's always the same remark. Oh, she's a horrible agent. She's a rude agent. All she cares about is herself. And that was the role they kind of they booked me for. But they didn't tell me that.
Did that hurt your brand or help?
No, well, as I always say, bad publicity is good publicity. It doesn't matter if they're talking good or bad about you. The fact that they're talking shows, it's a different scale. But what I didn't like, right, was how the last encounter I had at my office in Miami Lakes, Paola came in, and her man were lying out of their teeth. You told my wife to move to Miami, and we did it for you. And I'm just there like, I'm really sorry, like, because at the end of the day, I get it. I get what TV's doing. They're using me to be the bad guy. But at the end of the day, I wanted to be like, girl, you're tripping. I'm not your real agent, honey. We're pretending here. Why are you acting, I didn't want to tell her, like, I've been submitting your photos. They're not trying to book you, They don't want you as the lead for Wisin and Yandel. Sorry, it's not my fault. So that's the only thing I didn't like about 90 Day Fiancé. Even though I got a lot of followers, I was made out to be the bad villain.
But it grew your brand.
Yeah, it did, but it was very distasteful. I didn't like it. And then the fact that Paola Mayfield now goes on the gram, goes online, making comments about me, and this whole time I keep my mouth shut because I'm like, this was never real. What you talking about? Like, I'm so confused.
So people get stuck in their persona on reality, or
yes, they all the time. I'll read comments like, "Oh, you used Paola Mayfield, and you did this and you did that," and I just
her fans are going at you.
Always, yeah. And that's the thing with reality TV. You really never know how they're going to portray how you look. And whatever. I took it as a champ. At the end of the day, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. I've gone through much worse, so bad publicity is going to be okay. But I did for a long time. I was faced with such adversity from the fans of the show because they hated me. They hated Agent Caroline. She's the worst agent. She's this, she's that. She's a liar. She made Paola move out of her comfort zone. Like, and the whole time I'm just like smiling, like that's not really what happened, but it's okay. It's part of the TV world, the entertainment world.
Yeah, I know how it is. I filmed 2 episodes on a reality once. They never aired though.
They never aired?
They never aired.
I think that might be a good thing, Jay, because reality TV is not really where it's at unless you have your own show.
One was super fire though because like a really well-known celebrity gave me like a huge shout out on the episode that I was on.
Yeah.
So in my head I was like, damn, I can't wait for this to air because this is raw.
Yeah.
This is a lot of street cred right here.
Yeah. Well, you need your own. You need your own series. It's so
I'm good.
easy.
I didn't. I was literally. I did the thing just to kind of like promote my business at the time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of one of those like, all right, I'll do it as long as we promote the business.
Yeah.
But that's not really like something that I'm interested in or
Yeah.
like, but I thought it was a good way to kind of put the business out there, which I ended up getting anyways.
Yeah.
Without having to be on it.
Yeah.
So it worked out good.
Yeah. The same thing with 90 Day Fiancé.
But I know how they push you into those drama situations.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It helped my agency grow, but it was the bad reputation that came along with it that I had to like superiorize. Like I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let this, bother me because it's easy to read the comments and
Yeah, but you're not your online persona. You're not the reality persona. You're who you are in real life.
Yes.
And people will see through that.
Yes.
And they'll know. And I guess at the end of the day, haters are always going to say shit.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have that, especially when you put yourself out online.
Exactly.
So it's just something that kind of goes with the territory.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? Like people who actually have the time to write these comments, like I've never sat there on somebody's Instagram and said, I'm going to comment on this guy's Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm going to write something about him. You know what I mean? Like I just,
oh yeah, no.
I don't have the time to check my DMs, let alone check somebody else's page and write something about them.
They're so aggressive. They're so aggressive. When I did Enamorándonos, all these people would leave comments. Oh, she's a single mom of 3 kids. Stay away from her. You could do better. You don't need her. And going in. And I was like, oh my God, they're so aggressive. I don't know why they felt
they're fans.
Like,
they're fans. The fans are gonna go hard because they're really invested into the show.
Yeah.
So they're watching you.
Yeah.
They're waiting for that next episode.
Yeah.
They're waiting for that drama.
Yeah.
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 So they're invested. It's like watching your favorite basketball team play.
Yeah.
and you're like one of these guys that go down to the
Oh,
stadium and
yeah.
you're going crazy.
Oh, yeah. You know,
like if you were getting a check, you know.
Jay, I can't even go to Hialeah. Like after I did Enamorándonos, when I walk in Hialeah Mall, Red Lobster, any restaurants there,
They recognize you.
They pay the bill sometimes.
Really?
Oh my God! I'll be eating with my kids and my husband, and the Chase will say, "Mom, they're staring again," and I'm like, "Papi, it's okay, just eat." And then eventually, someone would like gets the courage to come up.
Well, that's a perk.
Are you Carolina? Are from Enamorándonos? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God, we love you. And they're like, do you want more drinks? More drinks? No, more food. And I'm like, no, it's okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. That's a nice little perk.
Hialeah.
Yeah.
Hialeah is
Enamorándonos, what was that?
Enamorándonos is the TV show I did with my husband. So in front of the camera, we got engaged, we got married, they filmed everything. Like they allowed us to really show the world our love.
There you go.
You know?
There you go.
Yeah, so it was a beautiful thing. But we dealt with some harsh comments. Some people were like DMing him, like, run away now.
Yeah. You gotta ignore that, you know what I mean? He's gotta be stronger than that, you know? Like that can't be something that you actually like.
My own father told them when I brought him to the house for the first time, my dad was like, you still have time to run. And I was like, Dad, what's wrong with you?
The people who are at the top of the food chain, like at the very top, they have haters throwing at them all day long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's just something that comes with the territory. It's
Yeah.
always going to be there. And you ain't going to make everybody happy. Not everybody's going to love you. Not everybody's going to want to be with you. And these people who have the time to write these things, they probably don't have much going on. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go back and be like, damn, dog, you really hurt, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel for you. Like, I see that kind of stuff. And my initial reaction is like, damn, man, that person... You really hurt, man.
Yeah.
I feel for them.
A lot of them are really hurting. The people
Yeah.
that leave these negative comments.
Yeah, they're hurting. They're not doing the best. You know what I mean?
But that's why you have to be the light. And you know, I'm always being the light. I always try, okay, thank you for sharing your opinion, you know, and I always try to like show them love. And then they stop because they're like, oh my gosh, she's nice to me, you know?
I've had haters trolling my accounts too, and I just reply to them and I'm like, are you in love with me or something? Like, I don't get it. Like, what do you want me to do, my brother? I don't have any money for you.
Yeah.
I don't know why you feel so emotionally attached to me.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about you, but God bless you, man.
Yeah.
You're coming from I can feel your pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can feel it.
Yeah.
I know you're hurting when you look at me. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand that. I can only imagine what your day is like. If you only knew what mine's was like, you know?
Exactly.
You really fucking hate my guts. You know what I'm saying? You really be like, fuck this motherfucker. So I get it. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really like, I would tell you, don't worry about it. Don't buy into those things. You know, you don't need to worry about that. You have a great life. You know what you're going home to. You know your situation. You know, you're not invested into the show like these people are. So they're gonna write those comments because they're just hating on you. Successful, a woman, entrepreneur, have her business, have her stuff together, doing her thing, moving forward. Haters that are not going anywhere, your competition, and people that have maybe seen you've had to kind of like step on the way on them, you know, they're gonna hate you, you know, because they don't got what you got. So it's just gonna come with the territory.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for a long time.
It's the price you pay. It's the price we pay
and you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
You know? While these other girls might be just like, you know, they're struggling right now. They need $20 to get to where they're going. They need $20 for gas, you know what I'm saying? And they can't get a date unless they get $20.
Oh, come on now.
Like, because if they were going on a real worth it date, she wouldn't even have to ask. If you were going on a date with somebody that's worth it, you don't even gotta ask. Because dude should be picking you up, right?
100%. You see the difference between a man, right, and someone that's just trying to waste your time.
Yeah.
There's a big difference there, and you know, and
if I'm inviting out some chick that ain't worth nothing, and she asking me for gas money, I probably won't even give her the gas money. To be honest, I thought about it after we were talking. I'm like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I
I'm gonna
found
keep those
out?
$20.
I found out like my girlfriend opened Tinder the other day, and right there she had like 40 matches. I'm like, how is the market so saturated? How is it so many single men and single women just there, available, like, you know, and they're writing, I want to cook for you. I want to take you to dinner. I want to do this. And I'm like, isn't it a little scary how in a click of a button, a swipe, you have options and you know, you have like forced interactions. I don't know where they
But
lead.
that's good though. She has options. At least she has somewhere to go to try to get some opportunity. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
she doesn't get out much, and if somebody's struggling on finances, they're not really going out too much.
Yeah.
So at least Tinder might be a good place for them to go. Like I've never had those like apps like that are not my thing. You know what I mean? I've tried them. They've never had any success on
Yeah.
them. You know, but
Yeah.
I'm not the type to just meet random strangers like that. I kind of like referrals.
Yeah,
you know, I like
exactly.
referrals. And I like
oh,
meeting
well,
people
those
through
are
people, you know?
juicy
Those
when
are
it's
better,
a
right?
referral
Yeah,
because
referrals
it's
are better.
coming from somebody. It's like, hey, I co-sign
Yeah,
this person that this
yeah,
person is okay.
yeah.
And, no, I agree.
I'm sure you dumped some good referrals on your girls, you know? I'm sure you probably got some good
Yeah,
matches. That you
so
probably
that's
helped. I'm
actually
sure
something I'm
you've
trying
helped
to
people
tap
out,
into,
right?
the
Little
matchmaking.
love connection, right?
I always, so you got to understand, I promote love.
Yeah.
Love is the greatest gift God can give us. So I'm always matchmaking people. I'm always like, you should be my girlfriend. You should be my guy friend.
Yeah.
But I try to do it with people that are serious, you know? I
Yeah,
don't,
they have to be serious.
you have to want
Yeah,
something
right.
truly, you know?
Yeah.
If you just want to
You
mess
can't
around,
match people if they're
that
not even
should-
interested in a relationship. Like, there's no match
Yeah.
there.
But once again, that's where the hard questions come in. The girls need to ask what it is you're looking for. What do you want? And not
They have
just
to be serious, though.
and not
'Cause
yeah.
Not all girls are serious either.
No.
It's not just the guys. There's girls that are not serious.
No,
so
it's
it goes both ways.
Yeah, I think
Guys
both
tend to be more
parties-
serious than the women, I think, to be honest with you.
There's a lot of men that want a relationship. They're just afraid to trust because these girls are, you know, one day they're happy with you, the next day they're upset. They go to
They're
somewhere
roller
else.
coasters.
Yeah, and it's like it's messed up because it's always like a competition, an indirect competition. You think you're dating the girl, but the girl's dating 10 other guys, and the minute you say no to something or you don't go, or you know, she's already texting someone else, hey, you know, let's go out. So
Yeah, you see, I wouldn't mind dating her. If I date a woman and she's dating like 10 other guys, that shit wouldn't bother me. Because I ain't giving her nothing.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't care who she's talking to. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If she wants to move forward with me, she's going to have to eventually leave all that
Exactly.
and go.
Yeah.
But I'm not in no competition with nobody. I'm just going to do. But I'm going to do the same thing too. But I'm going to be very upfront about it.
yeah,
Let's all talk to whoever. Because we just met.
yeah.
So there's no way we just met and you're like in love with me already
Yeah.
day one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we went for coffee where you're gonna
Yeah.
go crazy for me. That might be a red flag.
Yep.
So I'd rather just be upfront. Like, listen, we just met. Or, you know, I'm not asking you for anything. I don't want anything from
Yeah.
you. But let's, you know, continue. You have guy friends, right?
Yeah.
Pretty girl has guy friends.
Yeah.
She's not just single walking around
Of
town.
course,
You know what I
of
mean? She has guy
course.
friends. And you gotta be, but you have to have some brains and realize
Yeah.
that this is how things are.
Yeah.
Girls have multiple guy friends. Doesn't mean that she's banging all of them.
Yeah.
Right? Just means that she has those people that she speaks to. She's
Yeah.
not gonna stop speaking with them because she went to coffee with somebody, and
Yeah.
neither am I. But it's when you start giving things,
Yeah.
then that's what kind of kills it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then when they get cut off, it's like, oh, but I gave this, I gave that, and that's what the problem is. Don't give anything.
Yep.
Just enjoy each other's time. Get
Yep.
to know each other. It takes time to get to know people.
Yeah.
And then eventually you'll be in a position where you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
This is the person that I want to spend my
Do
time
life
with, you know?
with,
And then
yeah.
you can open up and give the things that you want to give to
Yeah.
that person, and then things will just kind of flow naturally, you know?
Did you hear about the story of Ashley Janae? You don't
who's
know
that?
who that is?
No, who's that?
She's actually a model that was signed to Urge. Rest in peace. But this girl dated a guy for a year. He took her to Africa, proposed to her, and then 2-3 days later, she ends up dead, right? And he's saying that she suicided herself. But everyone else in the hotel is saying that's not what happened. They had a nasty argument. They separated the parties. And then an hour later, she was found dead in her room. The problem that everyone's having with that story, right, is that on social media, Ashley Janae was promoting him all over her gram. It looked like they were in love. He was buying her 10 purses a month and this and diamonds and this and all of that, right? So she thought that she had got the lottery, right? I got a good man. He loves me. He's a rich man. I'm traveling, G5, everything is great. The parents are very confused with what's going on with Joe McCann. I don't know if you've heard. That's the guy she was engaged to. So the girl dies. The fiance calls the mom 11 hours later and says, something happened to your daughter. She's okay, but she's in the hospital. Mind you, she was dead. Okay? And he said the whole suicide. She killed herself. The parents aren't buying it. Africa, like the country itself, the hotels, nobody really wants to talk and share details. They're not saying anything. They just got her body, her remains, a couple days ago, and nothing. The big diamond engagement ring, everything is taken. She's completely stripped of all her, her purses and things. Where did everything go? So right now the question is, what was the motive? What happened
robbery.
there?
That sounds like a robbery.
What happened? We want to know. The parents are very devastated. They've been going on the news. They've been asking for people to come forward. And the only thing we do know is that there was an argument that took place between them. Joe refuses to do any interviews. He's not talking. Now, mind you, it could be because
Smart on his part.
The attorney told him, don't talk. You can't do something now because they're going to frame you.
Yeah.
Right? They withheld his passport, so he
Never
can't even
talk.
leave the country. Right. But we all want to know what happened there. What happened? What went wrong? Money was not an issue, supposedly, to them. So for a girl who had such a good, enjoyable life to just off herself, that's where everybody's like questioning it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. And
sometimes that's why they're mysteries, because the things don't add up and make sense. But shit, I've seen some things turn out to be completely different than what people think happens. You know, it's just, you never know, and that's just life. So I understand his reasoning for wanting to be silent, because he probably wants to protect himself, which is the smart thing to do regardless, But, when there's like a crime of passion, they usually find those out really quick, That's something that usually gets solved quick because it's very messy.
Yeah.
So
but it sounds messy, Jay. None of this sounds like
everything
you
I don't know anything about it, but it sounds like a robbery. Somebody ends up in their house with all their stuff taken is a robbery.
You think so?
Why not?
But don't you find it weird that he didn't call the mom till 11 hours later?
God knows why. He might have been nervous. He maybe didn't know. Maybe he was passed out. A lot of things could happen.
Supposedly, they're even saying that he went on X and he started tweeting about crypto.
Because maybe he didn't even know what was going on. He was just tweeting.
I don't know. I hope so, Jay.
There could be a lot of stuff that goes on. There's innocent until proven guilty.
100%.
1,000%. So we always give everybody the benefit, you never know. Perception is not always the reality of things. Things can look like it, but they ain't.
But I say all that to say that us as women, we shouldn't necessarily get taken away by the gifts. I think that it's so easy to lure a woman in by buying a purse or shoes and stuff, I try to steer my girls into, if the man really loves you, he's going to invest in the business. He's going to want to give you a gift that keeps giving, right? Yeah, a nice little Chanel bag is nice. You could resell it. But why not start a company or, do something fruitful?
If your mentality is a Chanel bag.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's brain waves are a Chanel bag, like we're already off on the wrong foot because we've got different visions in life. You know what I'm saying? Like the Chanel bag is not gonna get us to where we need to be in life.
It's not gonna
It's
pay
definitely
our bills.
nice, and it's something that maybe you should, these are things you can enjoy together. But if that's how we're starting off, we're on the wrong foot here. You know what I'm saying? Like for me personally, as a man, like I'm just.
So wait,
a desperate guy is gonna maybe throw the Chanel back because he needs to reel her in quickly.
So you, Jay, you're saying as a confident man that that's not your approach with women? Like you're not just throwing gifts and money their way?
I'm not throwing anything.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm not even trying.
Yeah.
But I'm 47.
And you're not desperate. And you have experience.
I'm way past the game. The people we're talking about, young people who are like that, they're in another league. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a different zone. I'm 47. I just cruise through life at this point. I'm just getting to where I'm going. I'm just a little guy who wakes up in the morning, walks his dogs, goes to the gym.
You're a good man.
And leaves the rest in God's hands.
You're gonna have kids soon.
I'm not the guy that those women are looking for. They're not looking for me. I'm not for them.
Good.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna.
Good.
I don't even buy myself nice shit.
Yeah.
So let alone buy somebody else.
Yeah.
To me, that's like a bribery.
It basically
I'm gonna
is.
bribe you to hang out with. I'm gonna put you on payroll so we can be together. No, thank you. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless you got a lot of things you could bring to the table.
Exactly.
All right, thank you so much. It was
Thank you,
amazing.
Jay.
You're the best. It was good seeing you again.
I'm so glad I was here. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
We're gonna put all the handles and everything on the post on the YouTube. so people can continue to watch your
Awesome.
story and watch your growth.
Thank you, Jay.
And
Thank
watch your
you.
family too.
Yeah, I
Your
know.
beautiful family,
I'm
you know?
very grateful for the family I have. God is good. We're
As
trying to
you
have
should.
one more baby, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's amazing.
I would
Good.
like
Yeah,
it. I want a little girl. I have one girl.
So 4. You want 4. You have 3 right now, right?
I have 5.
You have 5?
I have
so you
5
want 6?
kids. Yeah.
Ah, you go
I
hard
just
in
had
the
a baby
ring.
3 months ago.
Yeah, Jesus. You look
That's
great,
why I
man.
kept
Good
asking,
job.
like, life is good. God is good.
Thank you so much.